Hey everybody, welcome to the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel. Mike Catalana and Dan Fetes here in Orchard Park. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We appreciate all the support we get from you. Today, Dan, the Bills with a dominant performance.
Yeah.
And what did we see today?
We saw Josh Allen. We saw 2020 Josh Allen. And I think, Mike, what's important to realize is that not all wins are created equal, or they're not viewed as equal. The Bills won 35-0 last week in Miami, and we were all kind of going, they're just not there yet. And what's going on? And hey, like, Josh is so hard on himself. This was the win that we expect to see. This was the performance that I think fans have now become accustomed to seeing with this Bills offense and Josh Allen, because he played great.
Yeah, and he talked about it all week. I know a lot of times fans will say to us, oh, come on, it's Josh. No, Josh did not think he was playing to a standard. He said he needs to play better. But I think he took a conscious effort to get the ball out of his hands when he saw a guy open. You were on the sidelines to say it. When a guy was open, the ball was gone, and he threw it to him.
It was quick. It was decisive. It was everything we've talked about on the Buffalo Plus podcast. Maybe he's a subscriber. He follows along, because it was all that we saw last year. And like I said, the 17-play drive that opened the first drive for the Bills in the third quarter. That was, Mike, like we talked about, the death by 1,000 paper cuts. It was just body blow, body blow, body blow to really wear down that Washington defense. I thought that showed the maturity and how Josh has grown even just from this week 1 to week 3.
Yeah, and I asked John Feliciano after the game about the quick passing game, the ball coming out of his hands and what that does for him. And John very succinctly said, well, it's better for us. Right?
And Mike, we also asked John why the offensive line played better. And he also had another eloquent answer.
Yeah, he said, we just played better, which is good, right? It's what you want.
John.
Hey, keep it simple for those guys. They like it that way. And they also like when their quarterback plays like this. And everybody does, including Cole Beasley, Emmanuel Sanders. I mean, Beasley saying, they hold themselves to this standard. Look, they all know. They know what they're known for. They are known for a devastating passing game, and we had not seen that. But they did, and Emmanuel Sanders was a huge part of it.
He was great. I mean, every time he talks, it's worth listening to. A few weeks ago, he said he had that veteran calmness that said when you win in the NFL, you feel like you're never going to lose, and when you lose in the NFL, you feel like you're never going to win, and that when things are going well, you're the best thing since milk was invented. This new connection between Allen and Sanders, it's milk in Buffalo. Again, in Buffalo.
Invented for a second time.
Finally connects on a deep ball with him, really kind of got the offense going. And again, we're going to talk, you mentioned how great Sanders was and how great, Diggs and Beasley. Opening drive, 15-yard completion over the middle to Gabriel Davis that really got, I think, settled everything in and got the offense rolling. Allen said that was a huge completion.
Yeah, and look, Emmanuel Sanders is 34 years old. That is ancient for a wide receiver in this league. And he's on his third team. He's signing these one-year deals, and he's looking for a place where he can really win. And we asked him about, I said, have you seen this or been told about what this offense is like when this passing game gets going? And of course, he's an SMU teammate with Cole Beasley. And Beasley, and they've talked about it.
Yeah.
But he said, I saw a little bit of it in the preseason. But let's face it, we didn't see it in the regular season until today, and he was a huge portion of it. And we all love John Brown, who was a really good player for this team.
Yeah.
Emmanuel Sanders is an upgrade.
He's a massive upgrade. And this was the offense, again, that we were expecting to see. Josh with over 350 yards, the 5 total touchdowns. It just seemed that everybody took a deep breath. Sean McDermott said after the game this week, that Friday, Saturday, Sunday, coming into the game, Josh just seemed calmer. He said he was in a good headspace, as well as he said he played free. And I think that was it. I think we saw Josh playing tense at times, whether we had talked about it, whether it was the contract, whether it was the expectations. He just looked like 2020 Josh Allen today.
Yeah, interesting, and also kind of emotional for the entire team. Josh Allen talked about it. Deion Dawkins was the first to mention Brian Daboll, who, by the way, full disclosure here.
Brian Daboll.
Yeah, we are fans of Brian Daboll. I think the guy is a phenomenal offensive play caller.
Yeah.
And, when things don't work, everybody gets worked up.
He's a guru. He's an offensive genius.
And today he called a great game, and Josh Allen executed it. But it wasn't really about the play calls. It wasn't about that. Brian Daboll's grandmother, according to Josh Allen, his grandmother was a woman who raised him, helped raise him, and she passed away this week. And it's emotional, a death in the family, someone you're close to. And Josh Allen went through this last year when his grandmother passed away. And he rallied around his team. I think this says so much about this team.
It really does, and especially the relationship between Allen and Daboll we know is so strong, but the first time it was that Deion Dawkins and John Feliciano talked together. And then as Deion goes to leave, he wasn't even asked a question. He just goes, that win was for Brian Daboll. He's our offensive coordinator. He's the heart and soul of this team. And then just kind of walked off. And we all kind of went like, oh, was he hearing criticism? Like, what was kind of going on? And then you have Josh who comes out, kind of explains the situation, and you know how close they are.
Yeah.
And he said that last year after Josh's grandmother passed away, he said Daboll was the first one to hug him in the locker room and kind of embrace him. And he goes, he got to do that to him this time.
Yeah.
Just goes to show you, again, the depth, the connection, the camaraderie, the process that is in place here.
Yeah, and that's formed over years, and trust and the ability to criticize back and forth. I mean, when Daboll talks about Josh being a guy who takes that criticism and is the hardest on himself, I think that comes from a place of trust with his offensive coordinator.
Absolutely.
I mean, Josh Allen knows he can be that way because the guy calling the plays has incredible trust in Josh Allen, and he showed it. And you know when he showed it offensively, and so did Sean McDermott, late in the first half.
Unbelievable.
The Bills get the ball back. Dan, you're down here. Like, easily they could have taken a knee and gone in at half.
Full disclosure, I went in at half because the Washington football team had punted. Because it's like,
25 seconds, I think there was.
25 seconds left, and they were punted. They were 75 yards away. I'm gonna go start doing some work. I'm gonna get a drink, and all of a sudden I hear 3 loud cheers coming from the tunnel, and all of a sudden Tyler Bass kicks a field goal and they go up again. That for Sean McDermott, for being a defensive-minded guy, and for his offense that hasn't really been clicking that much, to just say, we're going to be aggressive. We're going to go for it. The confidence that gives Josh, and maybe that's what he needed this week, was for his head coach to say, hey, you're really good. Like we got weapons around, and we're going to go for it.
Yeah.
Huge moment.
And for all the success Josh Allen had a year ago, I think he needed this game today. I mean, look, they would have won this game if Josh was good, not great. I think they're a better team, certainly than Washington. Taylor Heineke, God bless him, man. It's tough. It's a tough road out there. I mean, he's a young guy, never been in the spot. But back to Josh Allen, the idea that he needed this just to basically get everybody sort of off his back. I mean, the criticism was not huge, but if he didn't have a good game today, you'd start to say, man, this is 3 in a row to start the year and 2 going back to the playoffs last year. Oh, no. He was full-on 2020 Josh Allen.
I agree. The fact that people were saying, well, it was just 1 year, and, is he worth all this money? Like, those were starting to happen. Like, those were little bits of whispers, and I can't remember who it was. They were talking about the postgame that they said, that, they hear all this stuff that goes on. Yeah. They see all this stuff, and while they won't directly call out somebody, that was being talked about. So for Josh to kind of have this game, to kind of drop the mic and say, hey, I'm back. I'm still here.
He kind of smiled when he was asked a question today, and he's like, it went pretty well. Yeah, pretty well. 353 yards, 5 total touchdowns. Included, we mentioned the field goal before half, and then they get the ball back after a punt in the start to second half. 17-play drive, 93 yards, and a touchdown. And look, Washington was done at that point. There was no Pittsburgh comeback. Let's talk about the one negative, that stretch. Right? They give up the 73-yard touchdown. Missed tackles, that was really, there's the teaching moment for Sean McDermott. That was poor defensive execution, and you don't see them give up plays like that too often.
No, they were a bad football team for like 54 seconds.
Yeah.
From the kickoff, it was the longest onside kick in the history of the NFL. It went like 70 yards. I'm sitting there in the end zone, and with the way the wind was blowing, I looked at another camera guy, and I said, we're going to get a return here. Like, McKenzie's going to get a shot to take this out of the end zone. And then the kicker recovers it. Crazy things happen. They score a touchdown. Heineke goes full-on extension to score another touchdown. And that was one of those moments where you thought the Bills are going to be up 42-0 at halftime. And all of a sudden it was 21-14. And you went like, oh, are they going to be able to pick themselves up? And they did. And Sean McDermott has talked over and over again about facing adversity and those change of momentum plays. I thought it was big that the Bills offense was able to settle everything back down.
No question, and they did that. And look, they dominated the rest of the entire game. I mean, they just did. They were so much better. Poor Heineke got chased around. Now, the Bills defense, again, other than that play, really good today. And they made plays. They forced turnovers. They had 3. They could have had 6 in this game.
Tremaine Edmonds could have had another one, but he's young, Mike. So you have to give him some time when he bats the ball down and Has his hands on another interception.
Yeah,
But
you
he's
got to
young.
see him make some plays. Matt
he's young.
Milano made another big play today on the 4th down with some help from Taron Johnson. Again, those two combining to make plays. But that's about your negative today. Tyler Bass made his field goals. They dominated the whole way around. Look, it's what you're supposed to do. At home, against a team you're better than, they dominated the game, and everybody's feeling pretty good about where they are. So where are they? They're 2-1 now. Sorry, Nick Wright, but Kansas City lost today, and Josh Allen was great. So he's going to have a miserable Monday on his Fox show. But hey, the guy's on the network making a lot of money, and here I am talking about him. So
He doesn't have a YouTube channel that has almost 10,000 subscribers. Please like and comment. Keep this thing going. So, yeah, take that one, Nick, right?
yeah, Kansas City's got 2 losses. It's early in the year, but that's kind of interesting because you're fighting for all of that. So it was a good day for the Bills to get a victory and to look good. They've got the Texans next week. You know, Texans are going to have a tough time coming in here and winning.
Yes.
But again, you don't want to play sloppy in that game. You're the better team. You got to come out and take care of it.
Well, and that's what I said. Like, not all wins are created equally. Like, be that dominant, convincing team when you step on the field from the first kick to the end of the whistle. Like, that was what the Bills did today, minus 2 minutes in between.
Because look what you have. You've got the Texans, and then it really starts because then you go to Kansas City, and then you've got Nashville on the Monday night. So it's going to be a lot of fun. A great day for Bills fans here in Orchard Park. Crowd was awesome today. Unlike the Pittsburgh game, they enjoyed every minute of it. And remember, we've got plenty of content here on the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel. Once again, we want to thank our friends at Connors and Ferris for being our sponsor. And a reminder, every Thursday night, 7 o'clock, our show, Buffalo Plus Live. You're a big part of it. We want you to be on there. Your comments, your questions, your takes on everything are a big part of the show. That's every Thursday night at 7 o'clock. For our entire team, Dan Fetes here with me and Jenna Cottrell. I'm Mike Catalana. Thanks for watching here on the YouTube channel for Buffalo Plus.